Welcome back to My Block Jags. I am Denaro Scurry. And Jacksonville Jaguars, week 18, last week of the season, beat the Indianapolis Colts. What was it? 26-11. We bust their ass. And I'm going to say we bust their ass because we fucking won. And when you win, you can say anything you want. We looked completely different. We looked completely different how we came out. And which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, as a fan, and how bad we looked all season. This is the team that we wanted to see, that we thought we were going to get when the season started. The team, we came out aggressive, and things were just connected, and that's something that we haven't seen out this team this whole year. Granted, this win didn't do nothing for us. We still secured the number one first overall pick again 2 years in a row. But the only good thing that I look out of it is we kept the Colts from making the playoffs. Colts are on Hard Knocks, and they were trying real hard to make the playoffs. They had the Russian leader with Jonathan Taylor and Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is a solid quarterback. I think he's above average. And they traded for Carson Wentz. They gave up a good little bit to get Carson Wentz, and they were pushing for the playoffs, and we ruined their season by beating them. And I'm happy about that. I can care less if the Colts make the playoffs or not. I'd rather them not make the playoffs. And how sweet does it make it that the clown town of the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the clowns and the wigs and the noses and the banner flying over the stadium, that they end up having to lose to us? I mean, how embarrassing is that for them? You got the fan base of a team is embarrassed of how bad their team is and how ownership is of the team, so we're revolting at the game, and then you end up losing to that same team. So that's very embarrassing for them, and ruined all their postseason dreams for this year. And I'm happy about that. I went before the game. I said I kind of wanted us to win. I was like, I doubt we was going to win, but that's what I wanted, and we ended up doing that. Trevor looked great. This is Trevor's best game, and it's sad because it's the last game of the season. He looked really well. He was 23 of 32 for 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he was the first drive. I want to say he was like 8 of 8 with a touchdown or something like that. I mean, he was just hitting everybody. Everything looked good. The play calling was great. Everything was good, and he was rolling. He looked like this is the guy that we wanted. He looked like this is the guy that we drafted. This is the guy that everybody projected to be whatever, the highest graded, Elway, Manning, Luck. He looked like that guy. And within the first drive, and then during the game, he looked really well. Again, this is one thing that's constantly talked about on Twitter. What is considered a drop? Because we have a lot of drop passes. Honestly, I think we are number 1 in drops this year. If we're not number 1, we're very close to it. But then when you see the stat sheet, it says like only 2 drops a game. But then when you watch the game, you will clearly count 3 to 4 drops that you can name off the top of your head how many drops we have. It's like 3 to 4 drops, but the stat sheet says it's only have 2. And the only reason I brought that up because the drops is what's hurting Trevor more than anything. It stops drives. It stops first downs. You know what I'm saying? It takes the it takes the momentum when you have drop passes. You know what I'm saying? It brings the morale down when you're wide open and the guy drops the ball. And especially for the quarterback, like I'm doing everything in my power to try to make a play, and then the guys drop the ball. We still had drops. With Trevor playing as good as he was, we still had drop passes just in Sunday. And I think that's one of the biggest things that hurt Trevor this year was how many drop passes that we had. How many passes went through hands and were intercepted. It was probably like 5 of the interceptions he had this year were literally dropped that went through the receiver's hands and the defender caught it. I can guarantee it's about 5 of those interceptions. So even though his interception number is high, you got to look at those interceptions as, you know what I'm saying, you got to break the situation down on some of those interceptions. And these are drop passes. They're batted passes. The receiver didn't catch the ball, and then it flew into the defenders. And we all know the defense does tip drill in practice. So that's what they do. Those are the easy interceptions for them. The ball flies in the air, you catch it, turnover. But yeah, this last game we still had drop passes. Chenault still dropping passes. Treadwell dropped the pass. And that's what's disappointing about everything this year, was when we say how bad our offense looked, a lot of it came from just guys not making plays. Granted, the play calling is bad. The play calling wasn't good. Trevor is a rookie, so he's going through his rookie woes and mistakes. And then you have the guys on the field with him who just, some of them aren't the talent that he's used to, but still, if you just catch the damn ball, the offense would have flowed a lot better. Everything would have went a lot better. Football is very situational. If it's 3rd and 1 and we run the ball and get the first down, then we can go do this with the next play. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of shit with football is situational. This happens so that way I can do this. If this doesn't happen, it puts me in a situation to where I have to do this, or where we have to go that route. And a lot of times when you got guys dropping balls on 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10, now you have to punt, or when it's deep balls where you could have got a big yardage, a deep, you know what I'm saying, big yards downfield, and the guy drops the ball. Now, you know what I'm saying, we're struggling trying to figure out how we can get downfield because the guys can't catch the ball downfield, or they can't catch the ball short, or these guys just don't want to catch nothing. So football is very situational, and when you have guys dropping the ball, it affects the offense, it affects the quarterback, it affects the whole team. And that's one of the big things, in my opinion, why our offense looked bad why our offense really was horrible this year, because we had guys that just did not want to make plays. We had some of the rookies that played. You had Tyson Campbell, you had Walker Little. There was somebody else that played, another rookie. Damn, it slipped my mind. But Walker Little, one thing about Walker Little, early in the season, we didn't know what we had in Walker Little. He did not look well when they played him at left tackle. They put him at right tackle. He didn't look good. He just looked like a second-round bust. And, of course, all of us was questioning, Balky, why did you draft the guy when he was out 1 year for an injury and set out for COVID, and then he didn't play for 2 years? We're like, why did we waste a draft pick from this guy if he hasn't played in 2 years? And that's really what he looked like. This game he played, I want to say he started, and I can't remember where he started at on the line, but his name was not being called. So as an offensive lineman, if your name's not being called, that means you're doing your job well. That means you're not giving up sacks. That means you're not giving up sacks. That means you're not blowing blocks. That means you're not causing penalties. It means you're doing your job. And he was doing his job. He was playing really well. When it comes to Campbell, early in the year, I was tough on Campbell. I felt like Campbell was a bust. Like, why do we go get this guy? He had a knee injury, and was he the one that had a knee injury? Can't remember, but I felt like he was a bust because he wasn't really doing what we thought he was going to do when we drafted him. He could not find the ball in the air, was always getting beat deep. Teams were picking on him, and I was very upset, very vocal about how I felt about him. He played very well this last quarter of the season. Campbell has really showed us that he can be a good defender. I don't know. So with Campbell, would you go into the next season with him being your number 2 corner? I don't know. Would you move him to nickel? I don't know. But he's playing very well to where I think wherever we have him, I feel like he's gonna be better than this year, next year. You get what I'm saying? I feel like he's gonna improve from his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Going on. Cisco, that was the other person that played. Cisco played well. Started Cisco at one of them safety positions, and he played well. Granted, I'm not even gonna lie, I can't remember any standout plays from Cisco, and I'm pretty sure he had some. But I just can't remember. But I know I didn't hear his name in the negative. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, same way with Walker Little. Did not hear his name being called as a negative, so that means he did something good. So I'm assuming Cisco played well and defended well. We basically stuffed the Colts offense. We had Carson Wentz. We sacked him 6 times. Damian Wilson had 1 sack, had an interception. I mean, we was just on his ass. Their offensive line just looked like shit. And their offensive line is honestly their bread and butter of their team. They have a really good offensive line. They have Quentin Nelson, the best guard in the NFL. I've never in my life paid attention to guards as much as I paid attention to Quentin Nelson, and that guy's just a fucking dog, man. Like if you look at anything you watch with Quentin Nelson, he's pancaking, he is just bulldozing, just dogging these D linemen, and he's just talented in what he does, and we made that boy look, you know what I'm saying, look juvenile. They got 7 Pro Bowlers on their team, and we bust their ass like none of them, like they were us, and vice versa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it almost looked like the talent switched. Like, the Colts were supposed to look like how we looked, and Jacksonville was supposed to look like how the Colts look. Like I said, Smoot got a sack. Josh Allen, who disappeared, he hasn't showed up since we played the Bills, and he played Josh Allen. He hasn't showed up since, and he got 2 sacks. So, I mean, like, we got guys who's just, like, he got a sack. Did he get 1 or 2? Gotts got a sack. So, I mean, our D-line was just, they were doing whatever they wanted to do with the Colts. They were doing everything, putting pressure on them, getting sacks. We were just doing whatever the fuck we wanted to do. And with us getting pressure, they couldn't run the ball. You got the NFL leading rusher. He only had, what I wrote down, 77 yards. 77 yards rushing. NFL leading rusher. And if you watching Hard Knocks with the Colts, one thing Jonathan Taylor does, he always busts towards the end of fourth quarter. He always busts in the fourth quarter. They literally show his stats from first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And every time the fourth quarter comes, that's when he breaks your ass down, and then he busts. Every single game he busts in the fourth quarter. And we bottled his ass up, man. They couldn't do nothing. Michael Pittman is, I want to say he might be their number 1. I don't know if T.Y. still their number 1. He didn't really do much. He had 64 yards receiving. So we did exactly what we expected the Jaguars to do when we came into the season. Literally, how we looked Sunday is how we all expected the Jaguars to look when we came into the season, man. I mean, we just looked good. Marvin Jones, what did he end up getting? Marvin Jones got 7 catches for 88 yards. Chenault had 5 catches for 62 yards. Armstead, Robinson is out, so we have Armstead. We grabbed Armstead and brought him back. It was good to see him come back from COVID. He started. He had 9 rushes for 52 yards. I mean, so as far as our offense, it wasn't nobody's numbers that was great, but our team played well together as a team. We didn't have where the defense looks good, where the offense couldn't generate no points or couldn't do nothing. Or where the offense, you know what I'm saying, was looking a certain way and the defense was slacking and special teams was slacking. All around, the team looked good. And it's unfortunate this is the last game of the season. Let's say we only had 4 games left in the season, and this was, you know what I'm saying, we were coming off this game. I think if we had 4 more games after Sunday, I think we will see, you know what I'm saying, the turnaround of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the team is maybe they're finally getting it. Who knows? I mean, we beat the Dolphins, and then we start losing games. We beat the Bills, which was a big win, and we continued to lose games. So, but this was the most complete game that we had all season. Out of the 3 wins, this was the most completed. This was the most completed win. This is where the team looked the most complete. Jesus Christ, I'm struggling to try to get that out. The team looked like a most complete. You know what the hell I'm trying to say. We looked good together with this win. We looked really good together with this win. But like I said, it's just unfortunate it's the last game of the season. So now we're going into the off season. So now you got draft, now you got free agency, now you got to figure out what the hell they want to do with Balky. Again, it's a clown show. Even though we won, and that's a good thing, it's still a clown show with Undershot Khan, with the bullshit that's going on with him not trying to really run this team like an NFL owner should. So we're going into the off season with a lot of question marks, a lot of holes we have to fill. The same holes we had last year, literally the same holes we had last year. We have the same exact holes this year outside of quarterback. That's the one hole that we don't have is quarterback, but we have the same exact holes that we have to fill. So with that, I mean, it's just question marks. Well, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Where's our focus gonna be? How can we springboard off week 18 of this season, even if you can or can't. You know what I'm saying? How can we look at this last game and say, look what we did, can we improve off what, you know what I'm saying, off that game? Because we only have 3 wins, and this is the best looking win that we had. So can we improve off this game into next year to make us be more competitive and be a better team? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Tell me, were y'all excited? Did y'all want us to win? Did y'all want us to lose? Like, did y'all just not care and just want the season to be over with? And that was the sentiment from a lot of fans. They just did not care, just wanted the season to be over with. But I should make another video soon. We'll see. But that's that for this one.